Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Oh, you play bass. Rad. Yeah. So, anyways, awesome. So I'm Eric, and just everybody introduce themselves so I know I have the names in my head of who's who.
Okay, I'm
so-
Sam.
Okay,
I'm Dominic.
and you're Dominic.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Didn't want to cross the names because both names work with both genders, so it's totally cool.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's fine.
so awesome. Well, how old are you guys? I just want to ask a couple questions just for myself because I have.
Well,
Yeah, we're both 12.
That is amazing. My daughter is 11.
oh
This is
wow.
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. I wish my daughter was here right now. My daughter is obsessed with the Beatles and kind of not really digging punk. She likes punk. I've taken her to shows. I guess we could talk about this in the interview and stuff. I just wanted to talk real quick before to start talking about Jugheads.
Yeah. Which
have-
just speaking of which, I've got like a
Image,
CD right here.
crazy man. Like, yeah. So I am the second bass player of the band. I just want to give you guys some information so you guys know when we do the interview. So I'm the second bass player of the band. I didn't play on any of the albums. The band got
Okay.
back together about the time you guys were about 1.5 years old. So about 11 years ago, the band got back together, and then I joined. So I have nothing to do with any of the songs except that I play them live, and I was a huge fan. So when I was a young kid, I was going to see Jugheads all the time. And we could talk
Oh,
about
that's-
the interview, but I wanted you guys to know that I am not the original bass player, but I am.
Yeah.
I'm the second guy. There's only been two bass players, me and Brian Price, who's the coolest dude ever. But he didn't join the band because his family. He just started a family right when the bands got back. So his
Yeah.
wife was not gonna let that happen. So I
Yeah.
just want to let you guys know a little bit about me. But yeah, I also play sometimes with Guttermouth, and I play with
Oh
other.
wow.
Yeah, a couple years ago I was asked to join Black Flag, but
Oh wow.
yeah, but I didn't do it. Unfortunately, family. That's a long story. I don't really talk about it, but something for you guys to know. Like because Jugheads, we toured with them in Australia, which was the coolest tour. If you guys want to know anything about Australia, I'll go on for hours. I spent 2 weeks on that continent, and I saw every part of it. So it's really cool. If you guys want to ask me about any bands, I love music.
Yeah.
So where are you guys from?
We are in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Forgive me if
Baltimore's
you see me swatting. There's somehow a bug in my room.
It's cool. I swat bugs all the time. It's like 90 something degrees in my room right now, and I live on the 3rd floor,
Ooh.
and so it's pretty warm at my place right now. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I got my water too. It is. How's the weather at where you guys? Is it hot? Mild?
It was not too horrible today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 90 degrees right now in my room. So, how'd you guys get into punk rock?
I mean, I'm more into like the like punkish side of music. Sam is more into like alternative music, and is a lot of people call it emo, but
Yeah, there's some like pop punk in there.
Cool.
I'm not a huge fan of the phrase emo. It like
I get it. It's kind of a mixed.
like all music is emotional.
Yeah,
for
that,
the-
that was my argument always about it too. But yeah, and also like if you listen to Fugazi or Rites of
Yeah.
Spring, and then you listen to like something like My Chemical Romance or some bad
Yeah.
90 or 2000 stuff, you're like, this is like dinosaurs and bananas. Like they're not even in the same park, you know.
Yeah.
But
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a fair comparison.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's like comparing the Beatles to Slayer. It's like it's just two different things going on. It's still music, but you're like, this isn't really what I would consider true emo. But I always thought that I always like post-hardcore, but now that's even
yeah.
Cookie Monster hardcore stuff, and I'm just like, dude, this is silly. But
Yeah.
whatever. So I don't know how I look. I'm trying to see what I look like in this, but it's not popping up. But everything sounds good, right? On audio for you guys.
Everything sounds
Yeah.
great.
All right, cool. I'm just trying to see how it's a screen thing. Okay, I don't know if that's working. All right, whatever. I'm totally cool. I look like crap, but you guys are awesome. I'm super stoked to talk to you guys. And cool little, what is that, little P bass back behind you?
Oh, this is a jazz bass.
Oh, it's a jazz bass. Rad. I play bass, and If you live close, I would have introduced you to all my friends. All my friends work for Fender. So
Oh my
best
god, that's
wow.
awesome.
yeah, like one of my buddies is his name's Jason Smith. He's one of my best friends. He's a master builder at the Fender Custom Shop.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's considered one of the best guitar builders in the world. And my daughter, her best friend is his daughter, and she's like I
Wow.
said, like they're both 11. Like my daughter will be 12 next year, or not, next school, day after Christmas. So
Does your daughter play any instruments?
she plays guitar and she plays a little bit of bass and piano. She goofs around. She really loves the Beatles and like Rolling Stones and the Beach Boys and Violent Femmes, and she likes Offspring, which is kind of crazy. And I mean that's a start, like
Yeah.
like I let her listen. I'm like, hey, you want to check stuff? Like I let her listen to a bunch of stuff, some stuff that was probably not appropriate for kid her age, but
It's whatever.
Yeah.
I let her listen to like what I was listening to when I was in like 4th, 5th grade, and she was completely blown away. Her reaction was, "I can't believe your parents let you listen to this." When you were
Oh,
And,
I remember being super little in like listening to music in the car. And
Yeah.
I think the 3 albums that like really stuck to me were How I Spent My Summer Vacation by the Bouncing Souls.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you've heard of this band, but they're from North Carolina. They're called Self, codename Spivey. That's
no, but that's that cool. I'll check them out.
great record. And then what was the last? Oh, Lillingtons, Shit Out of Luck.
Yeah, that's a great band too.
Yeah.
Totally
The
cool
only
stuff.
the only 2 albums that I like practically ever listened to when I was younger, because like my dad would just take us for drives and we just listen to music, was like you mentioned earlier, the White Album by the Beatles was like always on, and then occasionally when my mom took over, it was Nevermind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols.
Oh, that's
So
cool. So
it was all over the place.
Yeah. So how old are your parents? This is a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How old are your parents?
My parents are in like their 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
My parents are interesting because my mom's 48, my dad's 68. So
Wow. That's why your dad's listening to the Beatles a lot, and your mom's listening to the Sex Pistols. I get it now. Yeah, because like the music, I'm like, oh, interesting. Like, I'm like, if you're young and listen to Bouncing Souls, I'm like, your parents had, like, yeah, so they're probably. I'm 41. I just turned 41. But like I said, like I had my daughter when I was 29, and yeah, she's like a year and a half younger than you guys. But yeah, it's super cool. Like I try and let my daughter listen to as much as possible. She hates the radio, which is awesome.
Yes.
But she likes different things. Like it's pretty cool. Like she's trying to get into different music, but right now, like she's, like I said, obsessed with the Beatles. Like like obsessed. Like she has an almanac, but it looks like a Bible, and it's all the facts about the Beatles. She knows everything. Like, and then my daughter's like, "Hey, Dad, have you ever done LSD?" And I'm like,
oh my god,
I haven't. Like, I'm being like honest. Like I never did. Like I always thought it was stupid. But like I told her, I'm like, yeah, I smoked weed when I was younger, and I didn't really like it, and I stopped. I haven't smoked it in like 20 years. Like this wasn't my thing. But being honest. But she's asking questions because of music and asking stuff, and I'm like, dude, I cannot not be honest to my daughter, especially at this age.
Yeah.
right.
It's just like, it is what it is. It's like, yeah, I did stupid shit, like,
Like everybody does. Like,
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you guys are growing up. You guys are gonna go through your own little trials, and you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, or not do whatever you're gonna do, and hopefully you do it smart and be smart kids. You seem like smart kids, and you play bass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you wear purple, and that's awesome. And like, I don't know, I just see the bass. But do you play anything? Or
I play the violin, but I want to learn the guitar, so it's like
I'll
all
pick up on
straight.
it real quick. How long have you playing the violin for?
Well, I was in 5th grade when I first started, so it's been like approaching 3 years.
Cool.
So
That's awesome. I mean, it's a great instrument to know. Like, all it's gonna do, like, is open up your whole world once you jump on a different instrument. It doesn't matter if you jump on anything stringed or like if you jump on the piano, like you have it, like the foundation behind you as from your school. You can read music, you understand. So if you jump on a guitar or a bass, or who knows, piano. It's all there. Like you have everything set in front of you, which is super cool. Because when I was a kid, I didn't have that. Like my dad did not want me and my brother to play music. Both of us ended up playing music. I don't know if it was a cool protest, because both of me and him have done all types of rad stuff because of music. And we were talking about this last night. Like I would have never believed, like when I was like your age and picking up a guitar for the first time, like that, like I would have been like, oh yeah, I got to play with all my favorite bands and I became friends with these guys and like toured with them and been all over the world. Like I never thought I'd ever travel. And I've traveled because of music and being very fortunate to know just the right people or join the right bands. And it's been awesome, like, so do it, like do as much as you can right now in life, learn as much, like, I mean, some people played sports. Like my dad used to play for the 49ers and I was, I was like, this shit sucks. I hate football. I played a little bit of soccer when I was younger and I liked it, but I had problems with my toes and it got like weird ingrown toenails and had to have surgery. And I was like, because the shoes were too narrow. I have big, wide, stupid feet and they don't work in soccer shoes. And so I had to keep on having surgeries. So I was like, well, I love art and I was all into art. And have you guys ever heard of, do you guys like comic books or anything like that?
Yeah, I read a few.
All right, so you've heard of Spawn, right?
I haven't.
Oh, have you heard of Todd McFarlane? He used to be the artist for, all right, Todd McFarlane's niece went to elementary school with me. I was friends with her. I became, like I was friends with her. I was in the art. There was a guy that used to beat her up all the time because he had a crush on her. And he was one of my friends. And I was like, dude, you're stupid. Leave April alone. He kept on messing with her. So I had to go beat him up. Tell him like, hey, you can't beat up girls. That's not cool. And so I beat up my buddy for April. Well, she would get picked up by Todd all the time. And I really wasn't in the base or in the comic books at the time, but I was very into art. So I came to pick her up. It was super interesting. He's like, hey man, like you're Eric. Hey, come here. I'm April's uncle. I just want to say thank you for, doing that for my niece. And he's like, hey, do you like comic books? I'm like, no, dude. Like, I like baseball cards, I was like in fifth grade. And he's like, oh, well, I'm a comic book artist. You might have, I guess might have not hurt me, or heard of me. And so he gave me a stack, like a huge stack of like everything he's done, promo stuff. And he, every once in a while he stopped by and give me new stuff. And he's like, hey, here's the new stuff we're doing. It's called Image. I left Marvel and I'm doing this thing called Spawn. And I have some like crazy stuff that was never released. And it was, that was my friend's uncle. And then she didn't go to our junior high and I never saw her again. And you can't really look up April McFarlane because it's a pretty common last name.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, my buddy Jason Smith. It's like, trying to look him up. It's like, there's a billion of them. It's a very white name, So it's like, you can't find that person usually when you look them up on social media. Anyways, it was super awesome. I have all this comic book stuff, but yeah, that's what kind of got me into art. And then I was like, sports sucks. And I magically picked up a guitar one summer at my grandpa's house and started figuring out Metallica songs. And I've been into it ever since. Loved it. And also my sixth grade teacher, her and her husband owned a punk label, and they used to take me to all the shows. And I was like your guys' age, going to see like DI and like Adolescent, all these Orange bands like HFL, Straight Faced, Glue Gun, Ignite, like all White Caps, all bands. And I was like your age. I mean, like the stuff was happening. I mean, this girl up the street that we lived from, she babysit my brother's best friend. Green Day would stay at her house when they were out here on tour, and they would stay at her house all the time. This is like way before they broke. This is like 1991, 92. And, they're like, hey, here's all these stickers, give them to these kids that like Social D played her backyard party. Like this chick was very tied into the punk scene. And like, I grew up in Orange County, right on the border of Orange County and LA County. So I was in a very awesome spot during the 90s for band. Yeah. Also, my teachers were taking me to punk shows. I mean, I was going to see like Voodoo Glow Skulls and Face to Face and Guttermouth for like $5. Like I wasn't even paying. They were just taking me. I was backstage hanging out. Like your guys' age, like this is insane. And then, like years later, I ended up filling in on bass for Guttermouth, and it to me, I mean, that first record they put out was one of the first records I ever learned how to play music to. So like it's super crazy, but like I mean, where I grew up, I was very fortunate. I mean, so many amazing bands. I mean, we got to see No Doubt play backyard parties, and Real Big Fish and Sublime was playing like in stores, like all this cool stuff that we got to see that now is like legendary shit. And it was just like, I was just your guys' age on a skateboard or taking a bus with my little brother or having my 6th grade teacher pick us up and take us to a punk show. Like we were like going to all this stuff. Like we'd walk miles to like a record store or ride our bikes. Cause we were like 13 or 12, Dude, my brother was way younger. He was like 10 or 11. We were just going to all these shows, and we're like, oh man, we got to start a band. And then like all we did was just buy music. That was it. Like that's all we cared about was buying music. I became obsessed. Obsessed with music, and it got me through so much stuff, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble. I probably would have been in jail or juvenile hall if it wasn't for going to shows.
Music is an escape.
Sorry, Sam, you can say it.
No, you're good.
What would you say the maybe top 5 most influential bands that you saw were?
Like saw are just bands I love. Like I mean, there's bands. I mean, I've been to probably 1,000 shows. I've seen like so many great bands. I mean, but during like from like the time I was your age to now, or like when I was a kid growing up and the sparking the flame and stuff like that.
I guess like sparking the flame.
When I was going to shows, like pretty much to see anybody was like amazing to me. Like, oh my God, there's a band. Like it didn't matter if it was like a shitty dad rock band. Like somebody playing Jimi Hendrix to me was just like mind blowing that there's a dude on stage, and I'm watching men on stage or women and mixed group of people playing music. To me was just mind blowing as a kid. And then like I started getting into like heavy metal and punk rock, and then it was like, oh my God, this is so rad, because the only thing I had for reference when I was a kid was what my parents liked. I had all the classic rock stuff that I still love and still always will love. I had David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Steve Miller, stuff like that. And then it was like my aunt, who's 10 years older than me, was babysitting us and was like Bauhaus, The Cure, like Suicidal Tendencies, which Suicidal was like the band that like always was that was a band to me that will always be the best. One of them. Mm-hmm. That band like sparked everything, because I didn't understand what I was listening to, but it was so fucking crazy. Like I was like, oh my God. But then there was like bands like Jane's Addiction that like I was listening to. My aunt like, was going to the shows and knew them and was like going, like telling me all these crazy stories. And like, like she was like, she's telling me stuff when I was like 8 or 9 babysitting us, like listening to all this cool stuff, like Black Flag, some of the stuff just went over my head, but it was something I'd never heard because it was something my parents would never listen to. And then like, I had older friends like that lived down the street that were listening to like Van Halen and Anthrax and like Pantera. And then like, I was like, oh man, dude, Guns N' Roses. I was like in 4th grade going, yeah, man, Guns N' Roses are rad. And then like my aunt and her boyfriend are like, these dudes fucking suck, dude. Like, Crush. I was like, but they're so edgy. And she's like, this shit sucks. And my aunt's boyfriend's like, here's Anthrax, and gave me a Alice in Chains demo that's probably worth shit tons of money now, and that I don't have anymore. And like gave me all these cool, like SOD, which was like mind blowing because I've never heard anything that fast in my life. Then like gave me a Bad Religion cassette and the Circle Jerks, and then Minor Threat, and I'm like, oh my God.
The Circle Jerks are one of my all-time favorite bands, and I was supposed to see them in DC, and then that show got rescheduled, and I was supposed to see them in, I'm pretty sure it was November. I'm not sure though. And now now it's in May.
Yeah, well, who knows, man? This quarantine shit could go for who knows, like nothing's certain right now. But when you do see the Circle Jerks, you're gonna lose your fucking little mind, and you're gonna have a blast. So fun. Jughead's, the second show I've ever played with Jughead's Revenge was one of the very last Circle Jerks shows before they broke up.
Oh wow!
And, because we played with them in San Francisco. It was an amazing show. It was face-to-face headlining, Circle Jerks, which were both bands were just amazing. Face to Face was unbelievable. And so Circle Jerks just destroyed. They were so spot on. We were before Circle Jerks, and then the Adolescents actually played before us, and then they took off because they were playing in Vegas that night as well. So they opened and flew out, and it was all for Thrasher magazine. It was in San Francisco, like on a pier. Like we walked out to the end of it, and you could see Alcatraz. It was so cool. And like this to me, like being such a huge Circle Jerks and Face to Face fan, and also Adolescents growing up. I grew up in La Habra, which is next day over is Fullerton, which is, you know, Social D, Adolescents, like everything came from Fullerton. I mean, Fender, Richard Nixon, like everything was Fullerton, you know. So, like me growing up, it was really cool. But just to play that show and to hang out, and you know, like I went and saw the Circle Jerks the week before, or 2 weeks before, with Municipal Waste in 7 Seconds at the Fox in Pomona. And it was so rad. I was just so stoked to see the Circle Jerks. And then that day while I was there, I found out, like, I got a text saying, hey, man, clear your calendar to this date. We're going to go up to San Francisco and play with the Circle Jerks. And I was like, ah!
Like,
I was
like, just getting a text that says, like, you're going to play with the Circle Jerks. I can't even imagine.
I was sure I was going to see him, and I was like, you know, I was probably like 30. Yeah, I was like 31. And to me, like, still when I play with bands, I still get excited because I care about music. Like, I always will. So, like, like when so many amazing shows, because like Jughead's, like, band, I was a huge fan of Jughead's as a kid growing up. I loved them. I would go to their shows. Later on, when I got older and started my, you know, Fourth in Line, we played a couple shows with them. The drummer at the time was Andy Alvarez. He was the next city over. He was in another band called Stranded. We became very close friends. Became one of my best friends. Andy's, you know, played with me in Sederra. He played with me in Rad. We went to England together. We did a bunch of stuff with Jugheads. He left Jugheads later on because he's, you know, family started. He had a kid, got married, you know, being a responsible adult, and, you know, which is totally cool. But, you know, he's still like my brother. I love him to death. But me and him, I totally forgot what I was going to say. But we were so stoked because we always played music together. But, like, he's the one that brought me into Jugheads. And then I also was friends with Joey Ramici, the guitar player of Jughead's Revenge, because at the time he was playing in this really cool kick-ass rock and roll band called Selfish. And they were they're kind of like Rocket from the Crypt. I don't know if you guys know who that band is. Maybe.
No, sorry.
I'll send you guys a link. Amazing rock and roll band. The drummer of Off was one of the drummers of Rocket from the Crypt, as well as the drummer of Against Me. Like, they're a great rock and roll band with horns. They kick ass. I'll send you guys links. Any bands you guys want to know about, I'll send it to you. I love getting people into music, especially that band kicks ass. They're unbelievable. We played with them once, and I almost passed out because they were so fucking good. But so I got brought in the band by Andy. I became friends with Joey from Jugheads, and that's how I got the whole tryout. I didn't even try out. They just asked me to join the band because Brian, the original bass player, couldn't do it at the time.
Yeah.
It was rad, you know. Like my first show with Jugheads was at the Anaheim House of Blues, and we were support for Bad Religion. And to me, it was tripping the hell out. A lot of my friends I grew up with were tripping out, and they all showed up. And we all just watched the show. Like, I ran out in the crowd with my buddies, and we moshed our asses off and had a blast, and we're drinking beers and watching Bad Religion. I couldn't believe I just played a show with them, and, you know, got to know some of the members of Bad Religion from that show, and it was really, really, really surreal to me because, you know, I usually, like, play a show and you play with some big-ass band, they never watch you. Those dudes were huge Jugheads fans. It was the first show back in, 10, 11 years, and they were all on the side, and when I got off stage, you know, Dave Bentley came up and was like, dude, you're awesome at bass. Oh, my God. You know, I had Greg Hetson telling me this stuff. I'm like, oh, my God, this is Brian Baker. He was a Minor Threat and Dang Nasty. And,
I remember me and my family went to punk rock bowling when they were in Asbury Park, and we were just, like, eating lunch on this like restaurant that outlooked the water.
Uh-huh.
Ryan Baker's just standing right there on the boardwalk. And my dad was like, "That's Ryan Baker." And he like runs down and he like gets a picture with him. Like we say hello, and
That's so cool.
it was crazy because he was just standing right there, and he's wearing this big patch that says Baker, and he just runs down there. Yeah, that was
so cool. That's rad. I mean, they're all great guys, and what's so cool about punk rock, it's so accessible, like to go talk to somebody. Like some guys might not want to talk to. I'm not going to name no names. Some dudes suck, and they're just kind of dicks. But, you know, but also they see a kid, and they're just like, okay, this is rad, and they're usually pretty nice. It's usually when, like, a guy like me is like, hey, blah, 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 and, like, you talk to them, and they're just like, dude, get the fuck away from me, fanboy. Like, I've had that happen. And it's like, you know, I could tell you horror stories, but I wouldn't want to put this online because I don't want to talk ill on somebody, you know? But I've had a couple people I looked up to treat me like shit, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But like the best feeling in the world is like when you meet somebody and they're actually like an amazing person.
Yeah.
I saw the Rattlescents at this super small place in Orlando, Florida called I think it was called the Shovelhead Lounge. And Casey Roy, like there were maybe like 15 people there, and Casey Royer just like walks right past me, and I got a picture with him. And then Rick Agnew is just over there like noodling around on the guitar.
Yeah. Those dudes all live right down the street from where I'm at right now. I mean, like, I've been over there at my buddy Jason's house, and, you know, dude, Rick Agnew came over and was like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? And hang out in the garage and talked about guitars. And, I mean, as a kid, I grew up in Fullerton, so we'd skateboard up here from La Habra and ride our bikes up here and go to comic book stores and, you know, other, you know, record stores, you know, Bionic Records and Black Hole Records are right here, which are staples in like the Orange County music scene for record stores. They've been here forever. They're very important. And, you know, we're, as kids, like your age, like, I need to get some t-shirts. I need to get some records.
Yeah.
My mom and dad aren't going to drive me here. And I have $20 to burn. So I got to figure out, you know, that week it was like either get Del Taco and food or lunch money or go buy records. I was like, I'd rather just go get records.
Yeah. Because anybody who knows me knows I constantly talk about them because I love them. But, like, when so like I said, I'm a little more, like, alternative with my music. But when I'm, like, for the first time at my favorite band, which is Palais Royale, it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life because it's, like, I think some people often forget is that musicians are people, too. Like, they all just grew up and had normal lives.
It's very easy to, like, idolize a person and just be like, they are better than me. But
it's one of those things where like you freak out because you've seen them in photos, you've listened to their music, you've listened to all the lyrics, like you've literally like embedded like your heart into like what these guys have done, and you believe in what they're doing. And then when you meet them, you're like, oh fuck, there they are. Like, you know, like one of my buddies, he was telling me a story. He was in Hawaii, and, you know, he was record shopping and, you know, just looking through shit, and he looks up and George Harrison is right in front of him on the other side looking through the records. And he was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Because part of him wanted to go talk to him and be like, you're George Harrison. But then the other part of him was like, if George Harrison's a dick, it's going to ruin the Beatles, which was the most important band to him ever. And he's like, peace out, I'm out. Like, and just walked out of the store and could not believe he was that close to somebody. Like, I mean, I've seen people freak out over, you know, normal guys that are in his band, you know, your local bands that you love, you know, like band that you love. And you're like, oh my God, just talk to him as a person and they'll be so stoked. Like, you know, it's always been like, my cousin went crazy once. I took her, we played with the Ataris, and like, I was like, oh, hey, you want to meet Chris? Because that was her favorite band. I'm like, yeah, dude, Chris is my boy, dude. Like, tour together, done all this stuff. I'm like, hey, Chris, this is my cousin Lynette. And as soon as she went to shake his hand, she went from like, hi to, and started screaming, like, rolling on the ground. I was like, oh my God, girl, you just embarrassed the fuck out of me and yourself. And my buddy's like looking at me like, dude, your cousin's insane. Like, I was like, girl, all you had to do is go talk to this dude like a normal person. This guy fucking is a normal guy. Just happens to put in a lot of cool songs that people like, you know? And like if you treat people like that, that's all that matters, you know? Just treat them like normal people and they will respect you.
Yeah.
My favorite band is you've probably heard of them. It's a band called Less Than Jake.
Yeah, I know we're playing with them in Canada. They're awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, my other band Sederra, we did a small acoustic show with Chris a couple years ago at this small little restaurant bar in Santa Ana. And we just hung out with Chris all night. He was super cool. He was telling us all these funny stories and telling us about like, some of his family members. And we all ate dinner and hung out. It was super cool. But Les and Jake's awesome. I'm so excited about playing with them in Canada. Like I've met those guys a bunch. My old job, the company I used to work for, we dealt with them a lot. My old boss was a drummer. Have you guys ever heard of the band Zebrahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my old boss is Ed. I grew up with those guys since I've known Ed since 1986. He was my aunt's best friend, and also he dated my old babysitter when I was a kid. Like, I've known him since like 1986, since I was like a little kid, like 7 years old. And yeah, he's been my boss, and I went to high school and junior high with some of the members, brothers and sisters. Yeah, listen, Jake's awesome. Tell me, sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, I've had the pleasure of meeting them quite a few times. I've gotten to play Roger Lima's bass.
Cool.
We interviewed JR last week, and that was amazing.
That's so cool. That's rad. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, yeah, they're a great band. I've loved them. I've seen them randomly at so many shows, like back in the 90s when they were coming up. One of the best times I ever saw them, probably the best show I've seen them. Might not been like their best performance, but oh my God, they crushed it. It was Descendants headlining, Guttermouth, Less Than Jake, Strife, which I don't know if you guys ever listened to Strife. They're a great straight edge hardcore band from Los Angeles. They rule. Don't know if you guys are into that stuff, but if you like really aggressive, kick-ass stuff, you might enjoy them. And then this band called Handsome, which was some of the guys from Helmet and Quicksand or something were in it. They're really cool. But yeah, I saw that show, and the show rioted. It rioted hard. Like, it was pretty scary. Me and my brother walked out of the bathroom, and right then a riot squad passed the bathroom. The cops were like, dude, you need to get the fuck out of here, kids. Like, and we were like, this is like 96, so I was like 17. And I was like, oh my God. And we just got out and we went around the building. And by the time we turned the corner, you see cops. Dude, they were fucking kids up. They were macing everybody. I don't even know what happened. Like, it was just a concert. Yeah, like a lot of dudes I knew were at that show. And everybody's just like, no one knew what was going on. I was like just trying to get to my car, and the cops were just macing kids at a concert. I don't know if a fight broke out, but the cops just came in and just started macing the shit out of everybody once the Descendants were about 3/4 of the way through their set.
Wow.
This was like during Everything Sucks tour, and the Less Than Jake, I believe, just put out Lucky Strike at the time. So it was like all, you know, Johnny Quest and all these fucking rad songs, and they were just crushing it. And
Yeah.
I remember just loving them because the energy was so gnarly. But yeah, Less Than Jake, great band. I cannot wait to play with them because I haven't seen them in a couple years, and every time they play, I'm always like, God damn, this band is so good. Like, even songs I'm not even familiar with, I'm like everything that's going on in the band, like, is just musician listening to. So complimentary, like what the horns are doing with the guitar, bass, drums. They're a very smart band. They write really good music, and I've always had a lot of respect for them. And I can't wait to play with them. So, yeah. So, but that's cool. You interviewed JR. That's rad.
Oh, thank you.
Super cool. But like, what are some other bands you've interviewed? Like, what's your favorite interviews that you've done?
We've really just been interviewing our friends.
Cool.
Yeah, up until you and JR, it was mostly our friends.
Yeah.
Cool. That's rad.
Like, we've reached out to a bunch of musicians. Like, Greg Hetson left us on scene. Like, I don't know who else. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know your guys' ages, and like, sounds like, oh wow, they're young kids. I was like, well, now they're probably like 14, 15, and you're like, I'm 12. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, my daughter's 11 and a half. You know, like, this is interesting. Like, I wish, you know, I can't wait to show this to my daughter because it's like, yeah, you could do what you want. Like, you know, it's rad. You know, kids is.
Yeah.
Oh,
doing
thank you.
your own thing.
Well,
No,
well,
hope for you guys. Keep this up. This is great. Like, I'm glad you guys are doing this.
Thank
know?
you.
thank you. We'll send you the link once it's up.
Oh, yeah, totally. This is so cool. Like, I'm really, really. I've done a lot of interviews, or been part of interviews, and this is probably one of the coolest. Just due to the fact that the age that you guys are, how stoked you guys are. Like, I can see that you guys are stoked. I'm just like, I'm just some fat dumb dude that hasn't shaved in a couple days. But like, I'm really stoked that you guys are doing this. This makes me stoked because this is stuff that, like, when I was your age, I cared about, and it was really hard when I was a kid to, there was no internet, obviously, but it's like you either went to a show or you got a fanzine, and sometimes you're like, this interview sucked. They asked the dumbest question, like, what's your favorite hot dog, or like food and shit. And you guys are actually like legitly asking bad questions and talking about stuff that like means something versus like, oh, like I dealt with adults ask me like the dumbest shit, like, what's your favorite soda? And I'm like, okay, like, what? I guess Mountain Dew, but like, so what's and they're like, oh, do you like birds? And you're like, no, I fucking don't like birds. Like, they shit on you. Like, I don't know what to say, but you guys are asking legit stuff. So like, I really appreciate it because this is really cool, and I'm happy you guys are doing this. And I hope, later on in life, you guys get to do this for a living or whatever. This is rad. Like, you guys want to continue doing something like this, like journalism or anything, or just something that just kind of popped up and you're just like, I'm stoked to be talking to people about music.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both for me, at least, because we kind of started this out of the blue. It was somewhat based on Wayne's World because
we were gonna like pay homage to Wayne's World.
That's awesome. I saw that in a theater probably when I was your age.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I saw it with my parents. I mean, it was rad. Like, we all laughed our asses off. It was one of the last times, like my parents got divorced. That was one of the last movies I believe that we saw together as a family. And I just remember my mom and dad losing their shit, like watching them. They were just going nuts. Like, they were rolling. Like, it's a great movie. It's the original Wayne's World is so good. The second one, like it's just like the second Ace Ventura. There's so many great parts, but then they start repeating the gag, and you're like, this is fucking dumb.
I mean, they had like some great jokes in there, but it's
first
like
one is so good. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Like, everything's like, the whole movie is pretty flawless.
Yeah. So
you guys like Wayne's World. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
You just said stupid questions, and this one is kind of one of them. But what is your favorite movie?
Oh my god. Depends on what I'm into at the time. I would say Jaws, which sounds super crazy. I love Star Wars, like anything by Spielberg, but I love like movies I really dig, like Lawrence of Arabia. This great movie. I love Memento. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the movie Memento.
I haven't.
The movie starts from the ending and goes to the beginning.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like, pretty much the guy has some type of memory thing going on where he can't remember anything after a day. Mm-hmm. He's tattooing information about himself. I think from what I'll give you away too much stuff. It's a really good movie. It's really intense, but it's fucking rad. But like, yeah, that was a great movie. I loved Amelie just because it was such a beautifully shot and produced movie. I love Star Wars. That's like my favorite thing. Indiana Jones. Let me think what else. But Jaws, Lawrence of Arabia, the Ten Commandments I just like because I love all those older movies because the sets are so epic and gnarly. Like, but like, like you're watching Lawrence of Arabia and the scenes are just crazy. I mean, it's a 3-hour movie, It's either you're into it or you think it sucks. Some of those old movies are awesome. Gone with the Wind, it sounds cheesy, but so many good parts in it. I mean, I love old movies, just the directing of it, knowing that these guys were all trailblazing at the time. It's pretty cool. I love, but Star Wars is like my favorite shit. Like, since it's quarantine, I've watched everything. I've watched everything on Disney Plus, Star Wars related, probably 3 times. So if you guys like Star Wars, I will talk forever about it. But my favorite movie probably would be just single movie would be Jaws. Love it. It scares the shit out of me. I hate sharks. I don't hate them. I'm just scared shitless of them. I live right down the street from the ocean, and they still scare me. Like the fact that the movie scares me and still moves me makes it cool. You know, like
Yeah.
I like a lot of horror movies too and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a huge horror person. I love horror.
Oh, cool, awesome. What's your favorite like couple? If you name 3, what's your favorite?
Yeah. Okay, so the first one that I saw, like that I genuinely remembered, was The Conjuring, and it just completely messed me up. Like
Yep.
that scared me. I watched it when I was 7 for the first time. Horrifying.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I didn't see the original until I had seen the remake that came out a couple years back.
That's a great one. That's awesome. But yeah, the original, the made-for-TV one, I was about 4th grade when it came out, and it scared the shit out of me. Like I was horrified, but also, you know, that was a scare. You watch it now and it's kind of cheesy, but
yeah,
as a kid, the movie horrified me. But that those are great. I mean, yeah, that new It movie, the remake was so good. It was cast awesome. I didn't see the second one, but the first one was awesome. And also, I was around the age of when all that shit was happening. So like when they're listening to Anthrax and like I remember all this. I was like, this is fucking rad.
right.
You know?
I loved it.
Yeah, a rock fight. I was like, yeah.
Yes, that was my favorite scene.
Same here. It was so good. And they were playing Anthrax Antisocial, so it was really cool. So what other horror movies?
The other one would probably be, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but it's called The Woman in Black, and it has like Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter in it. Yeah. And it's crazy. It's just a movie that you have to watch. It was one that like, okay, my parents don't get scared as bad as I used to. I've kind of adapted to the horror at this point, but that was one that like it makes you look behind you when you're walking up the stairs. Like gotcha. It's weird.
I get that. Yeah, that's what feeling when a movie actually gets you.
Yeah.
The movie that got me the most out of any horror movie was the original Poltergeist, because I watched it when it came out and I was way too young to watch that shit. I don't know what my parents were thinking. I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid because I'm still fucked up from it. It horrified me. And I have another buddy I used to work with, same things. Like I watched it once when I was a kid. I'll never watch it. I watch all the other ones and they're scary and there's some cool shit going on, but that one horrified me as a child. I mean, but then like, you know, like I've watched, you know, like The Exorcist. I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie.
Yeah.
I cannot stand horror movies.
That movie will fuck you up, dude. It's good. Weird. It's crazy. I mean, I have friends but also it's kind of like a generational thing where, you know, like stuff that scared me as a kid, my daughter laughs at. My daughter ruins me, dude. She makes fun of the bands I'm in. She makes fun of the movies that used to scare me. Like she literally makes fun of me. Like when I was a kid, you guys will probably talk shit and make fun of me. But I was young. I was like in preschool when Ghostbusters, the original one, came out. And that librarian scene where she runs like, bleh, I ran out of the theater as a kid. Like I was horrified. I ran out. My dad made fun of me. This is the 80s, so you could kind of be an asshole. My dad called me a pussy and told me I didn't have balls.
Oh my God.
I didn't know what anything he was saying except that I was a chicken. All he had to do was say I was a chicken. I would have been like, okay, I'll go back in. Like he's like, you're a fucking pussy. You have no balls. It's the librarian ghost. Like she's not even a scary ghost. Like I can't believe you're doing this. You're ruining the whole movie for the whole theater. And I was like, like yeah, I was 4. Like you know, like Jesus Christ, Dad, thanks. And so like when we were watching it with my daughter, I was like, hey babe, the scene might be a little scary. She watches it and she fucking laughed. She's like, Dad. Like, you know, she's like 5. She's like, Dad, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. She was just laughing on the floor. And I'm like, oh my God. But she also watched like Lord of the Rings. And she's like, Dad, I've seen orc battles. Like, that ain't nothing. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, I get it. But yeah, everything to her's like, Dad, that's not scary. She watched Jaws. That was the stupidest thing she ever saw. She's like, that shark doesn't even look real, Dad. I'm like, it's not the point. Like, you know, like it's scary. It's a shark. She's making fun of all the point of view shark scenes. Like, this is dumb. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's horrifying. That's what sharks look like when they bite your legs off and toes and stuff and eat you. And she's just like, Dad, you're a sissy. She always laughs at me. She's like, you're my little man, baby. And I'm like, oh God, my daughter's ruined me again. She makes fun of my bands. Oh,
So like with bands, I had a question I wanted to ask because I feel like people that are listening would be intrigued. But what advice would you give to people trying to get into the music industry?
just trying to get or trying to learn how to play an instrument too. I mean, it's kind of like a hard thing to get into. Like, all right,
Yeah.
Maybe like I guess like trying to start a band.
if you're
Yeah.
trying to start a band, like you got to find people. Like, all right, like friends you have shit in common with. Like same friends that you skateboard with might want to start a band with you. The friends that you go watch movies with might have the same feelings as they never think about. I mean, like, okay, like for me, for example, when I was a kid, I wanted to play guitar.
Yeah.
Dad's like, no, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. Like, but bought me a guitar because he played guitar. Like, I had to, like, convince my whole family. So I had a guitar. And my buddy Greg, who actually passed away 2 years ago, he was, like, a saxophone player. And he got a guitar for Christmas. And, like, he had the – like, I never played anything. No one showed me shit. Like, I didn't know how to make a chord. He already, like, in 2 weeks was, like, playing Metallica songs. And he'd figure out Metallica songs on the saxophone. And then he'd play the guitar. And I was like, oh, my God, I hate you, because he was just so naturally talented. And it took me a long time because I suck at most things that I do until I rehearse, and then I finally get understood what was going on. So it's always been me. It doesn't matter if it's spelling a word or playing a sport. It's like I'm just that guy that always has to practice to catch up and be where I need to be. Anyway, so me and my buddy Greg, we were like, all right, we're going to start a band. We're going to play the talent show. Like we're like your age. We're like, yeah, dude, talent show next year. Like, and we're all pumped. And then we went and found people at the school. We were like, hey, dude, anybody else play guitar, bass, or drums? Then we found a dude that played drums. And we're like, holy shit, that guy plays drums? We have to become friends with him. Like, it was like, not even like, we got to talk to this dude. We're like, we got to become friends. And we talked to the dude. And he was in like Metallica, Anthrax. We all loved Pennywise and Guttermouth, because all that stuff, they were local bands when we were kids. They were playing small clubs. We were able to see them. Like, I could tell you some crazy stories about trying to go see Pennywise that you guys would laugh your asses off, because like we were at your age and we heard Pennywise was playing in Mexico. Dude, all of us were like, we got to go see Pennywise. There's a club called Iguanas in Tijuana. We were your guys' age. We were like 12, 13. So we convinced our friend's older brother to put our asses in his car, and we drove down to Mexico. We told all our parents we were staying the night at everybody else's house.
God.
Drove down to Mexico, right? Driving down to Mexico, almost at the border, piece of shit car breaks down.
Oh, my.
We're like, oh, my God, we're almost there. Like, we're all freaking out. And at that point, we had to call our parents because the car wasn't going to get fixed. We had no way to get to Mexico now.
Mom, I drove to Tijuana.
Pretty much, and we all got our asses beat.
Yeah.
It was fucking bad. Like, all of us, to make a long story short, we all got our asses kicked, but it was worth it. We were like, this was right after Unknown Road, I believe, was released, that we were going down there. And our parents were dude, this was like a bunch of random kids in a car with a 16-year-old who's never driven that far on the freeway or even been out of the country. So we all had this crazy hair, like, punk rock, we're going to go see it. Because, like, dude, like, it's Pennywise. We were obsessed with them.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, later becoming friends with the guys, it was like, dude, you don't understand, man. Like I feel embarrassed to be like, oh, yeah, when I was a kid, man, we drove down to fucking Mexico to see you guys, and that's pretty much by God or by the car. Like, it was just like a lightning bolt. Boom. Car done. Like, you guys can't drive it. And, like, we heard it. Like, like it's going to blow up, But that was like, really cool. But all of us, we played a talent show, and we were all of us did our shit and started our little band. And later, right now with Fourth and Line, I still play with Eric Lopez, who's our drummer from junior high. Like, me and him still play music together,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. You never know. Like, I remember playing some really big festivals and thinking back, like, looking out at the crowd, I'm like going, dude, there's like 25, 30,000 people at this massive festival we played in Canada on the side stage. I'm like looking out going like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, 13-year-old Eric Bootow would have never believed this in a million years. And I think about Greg and I think about Eric Lopez all the time when I do really cool things. It's just one of those things that always hits me. It doesn't matter if I'm just playing House of Blues with like a band that we grew up listening to. I'm always like, I would have never believed this in a million years. And it kind of always makes it still exciting for me. Like I feel like I'm not jaded to it. Like
Yeah.
oh, it's another show. Oh, it's Bad Religion. Or like we're playing with Les and Jake. And like I'm still stoked. Like
Yeah.